Howdy, folks. This is going to be a little kind of laid back. It's not going to be full on information dense. And I may have some incoherent moments every now and then. Just got done, I'm taking a break from writing this Donald Trump piece. Just to let people know that he's just as much of a criminal as the Clintons, and to kind of wake up out of this lesser of two evils bullshit. And this thing has been coming up recently that has intrigued me enough that I think maybe I should comment upon it. Comment upon it with a nice vodka and lemon flavor. That's what it's called. Sunrise vodka and lemon flavor. Lemon flavor what? I don't know. But it's creamy and carbonated. Of course it's got to be carbonated. Now I've only tasted the orange so far, so let's see what this is like. More refreshing. I regret buying 2 of the orange and only 1 of these. I bet the lime one tastes good. Alright, so it started with this Russian fella. Very hard to understand. Believe me, I tried. I'm usually good at understanding Russians, but luckily there has been a few videos out there, one with subtitles and one with a woman from America voicing over the video. So this thing has gotten thousands of views, and it's come from the flat earth angle. The original video was called No Forests on the Flat Earth. And the proposition is that what we know today as forests are just little tiny things. Like, say, if you were to see a tree stump in a in a field or a lawn, and you just relax your vision, you can kind of imagine that as the stump of a humongous tree with the grass as what we know today as forests surrounding it. Now, thing is that these videos, there's like 4 parts or something, altogether an hour and 20 minutes, I think. The premise is that you have all of this ice and the ice caps, and that scientists say that by the carbon that's stored in the ice, we're missing about 90% of the vegetation that was originally on the earth before something happened. And I think it's pretty much 100% documented fact by the people of the world that there was a huge cataclysm that just fucked everything up a few thousand years ago. I think we can all agree that that happened. But this guy's suggesting that, kind of conjuring an image of what do you call it? Avatar, the movie where the big giant people lived in giant trees. The motif has been used by other movies as well. I think they drew upon it in Cloud Atlas as well. Which I'm very open to. And it was very interesting that this guy came out with this video, 90% of which was absurd, but this idea that there were once trees that stood miles into the sky, that I'm open to that. Because ancient people have actually spoke about trees that were absolutely giant. So yeah, I'm open to that. But then this guy starts to talk about mesas. You can see one on the screen. It's incredibly blown up. So it's not a great picture. The kosher explanation for this is somehow lava dried really, really fast. So you get these hexagonal columns, like almost perfect hexagons that almost fit perfectly into each other. The greatest example of that is the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland, just off the shore. Our mythology says that the giant Finn McCool made these, and they are literally perfect interlocking hexagonal shapes. And you see these hexagonal shapes in nature, such as beehives and such. But this guy says that these are trees, or were trees. Silicon trees. Crystal trees. And that the reason why they look like that is because they were cut down. If you look at a tree stump and then you look at a mesa, they look like they were giant trees that were cut down. Bizarre. Very bizarre. And I have a few thoughts that just kind of debunk that whole idea. Like, if you were to cut down a tree that size, would it be a giant indentation in the earth? Somebody in a YouTube comment, under my YouTube comment stating such a thing, said that, well, maybe it just filled in. How layers of earth build up on top of each other. Yes, indentations, they would fill in, but not an indentation this big. Like, you're talking about a huge fucking hole. No matter how fast or slow this theoretical tree would fall on the ground, it's going to be a huge fucking hole. And in the shape of the tree. So, yeah, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Also, if you have something that big falling to the earth, which, is the size of a meteor, that really actually it freaks out scientists. Like, if one this size hit the earth, it would be untold devastation. I would say that the planet would be even knocked out of orbit. Now, I made this comment also in the comment that I left under the English translation of this theory. And this snidey fucking bitch got back and said, oh, it's what's more stupid, to believe in giant trees or to believe that you're on a spinning ball flying through an infinite universe. I don't know. Why no, I'm just going to get trailed off on asking, why the fuck do flat earthers think that that's absurd to believe? I don't get it. They're just fucking over convinced by their own shit, I think. I think it's just as absurd to think that we live on a flat earth on an infinite plane surrounded by a wall of ice. But one thing that I will hand to flat earthers is that they've got fucking balls. They're making a stand by thinking very, very outrageous thoughts. Such as this one you see here. Another thing that you have to consider is that there would be a lot of shade. We're given this image of these giant forests, like huge forests of like where all the trees are towering miles and miles into the air. There wouldn't be nothing living on the ground, no vegetation, no other trees, no animal. Oh, excuse me. This fizzy stuff is hitting me. No animals, no human beings either. You would have to live in the treetops and literally up at the top. And then, where do you get your food? Does it all grow on the tree? It's a nice thought. It's romantic. And that's what I think really grabs people. And of course it would come from the flat earthers, because that idea is romantic. I spent a good few weeks kind of just, keeping an open mind and actually looking at the earth that I lived on and entertaining this idea that I could live on a infinite plane, a surface just suspended somehow in infinity. God, if you want to talk absurd. Looking at the curvature of the earth, looking across Galway Bay and wondering, why can I see Kinvara and like the shoreline in Kinvara, even though it's 10 miles away? Even granting my 8-foot elevation. No, I wouldn't even say 8 foot, I'd say about 6 foot elevation above the shoreline on my end. How can I still see what I can see? Folks have said that, maybe it's the expanding earth. That's a very big possibility as well. But I did entertain these things, and what magnetized me towards flat earth was also the romanticism of it. Because what do you have if you have a flat earth with some kind of dome around it that created the illusion of the sun coming up and going down, and the moon as well? Somebody had to have put it there, so the answer would have to be a god, an intelligent designer. So it's romanticism. And I'm not adverse to romantic thoughts about the universe. Romanticism itself. I'm a firm believer in the old Celtic mythologies and a lot of the mythologies of the world, maybe a little differently to what others believe. The standard Abrahamic view of the world, I think it's rubbish, inhuman, kind of almost demonic, really. So I'm not a person who is stone cold, oh yes, we live in a thoughtless, spiritless, cold universe. We're just this aimless ball flying through the universe. No, something as majestical as giant fucking fuck off forests could have very well existed. It's very possible that you would have a forest, and then in the center you would have this really, really big tree. It's possible. If you take a look at the oak, and actually for contextual reasons, it's important to remember that there are actually a lot of trees and millions of other different vegetation that are now extinct since as early as the last 150 years and more over the last thousands of years. Thanks to us humans with agriculture. But take the oak. Just like any other vegetation, any other tree, it's infinitely more magical than, stone cold science had us believe in the past. These things have nervous systems. These things have almost psychic perception of their environment. They're conscious. Another thing that this Russian fella brought up was this storage of memory that trees are capable of, and the transmission of that memory through the ground to other trees. Trees were basically an internet, right? So the oak itself would put out these signals, these pheromone, or I'm not a scientist. I don't read the scientists and then I forget the specific words. But they would call different plant life and insects to basically live in their vicinity. So they create a little ecosphere around themselves. So it's very possible that you would have these magnificently giant fuck-off trees with forests around them. And then human beings, because they would see some kind of significance. They would feel some kind of magnetic draw to that tree. Humans are no different from insects and vegetation, so there could have been a tree in the past that drew us to it. So in that sense, I'm also open to the idea the Russian guy was putting out there, that they, or some mysterious demonic power, went around cutting down these giant trees, which he says, are these mesas we see. When you cut down a tree, it's flat on the stump. Well, there you go. Giant mesas. Someone cut down these silicon trees. I'm open to that, some kind of demonic power. There is a demonic power in the earth. I think it's Abrahamic, Judeo-Christian, which runs counter to these flat earthers for the most part. But you see, tyrants like Cromwell clearing the forests of Britain and Ireland. The beautiful oak that once was all over the island of Ireland was systematically cut down and exported to Britain to build their cathedrals and to build their ships with, because it was a mighty fine wood to build a ship with. Very sturdy and very resilient. And then, they'd go around the earth and subjugate everyone. The power of Ireland was indeed very much hijacked to then extend the empire's power to destroy the rest of the world. All their tricks for subjugating native people they learned in Ireland. And that's what they also did to the trees in India. They cut them down and used them for fucking frivolous purposes in their stupid cathedrals and churches. So there is a demonic force on this earth that destroys everything that is sacred and beautiful. The Irish revered the oak as a higher being. The Indians revered their trees as higher beings as well. I'm going to say Indians, I'm talking about people from India. So I would say that there's something to this no forests, flat earth idea. There's something to this. And I would say that it's even a red herring. Kind of a mislead. You know, tying it together with the flat earth. I mean, what does the flat earth have to do with it? Of course, you know, it has to do with where this guy is coming from. He's a flat earther. And, of course, you know, that's the stage in which this mystical past took place. So maybe that's it. Or maybe this guy is just trying to tie in a ridiculous notion and then exaggerate something that has potentially a lot of truth to it. So then the waters are muddied. Oh, fuck, my nose. God, I never drink carbonated drinks. I forgot what that felt like. When you burp and it goes right into your nose. I think the trick is to burp with your mouth. I'll try that next. That is just so uncouth for a recording. Anyway, there's something to this. The comment section is open. Let's have a chat. Whatever resources you can dig up or references. I'd like to hear about mythologies around the world. I'm not an academic. I only know my own mythologies and a bit here and there from around the world. And I don't know everything myself. So if you know something, we can share and build upon this thesis and see what we find. God damn it, my mouse has been on this screen all the time. This fucking thing with the purple ring around it. Shit, that looked crap, didn't it? Not that you were staring at it all this time. If you were, Jesus Christ, man. Find something better to do with your time. And I'll see you later. Preferably Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Irish Standard Time on Eclectic Vibrations Radio. Join me for the anti-broadcast. Oh fuck, that's weird. It's usually fun. Sometimes it's not. It really depends on the listeners, just as much as it depends on me. So come along. Link is in the description. Catch you guys later.